All right. Let the record reflect that it is now 7:30 p.m. and we will reconvene the regular meeting. May I ask the clerk to call the roll, please?
Mrs. Clay? Here. Mr. Nessie?
Here.
Mr. Siebert?
Here.
Ms. Buckley?
Here. Will the Director of Law please summarize the executive session discussion?
Yes, we had one item discussed in executive session this evening. That was contract negotiations with the DPW and clerical. And as a follow-up to that discussion, there are two resolutions on the agenda tonight to approve contracts with those bargaining units. That's all we discussed.
Thank you, Mr. Starkey. At this time, I'd like to invite everyone to join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. There is one set of meeting minutes for approval this evening. May I have a motion to approve the September 21st, 2021 regular meeting minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes, thank you. Now we move on to reports. But before we move on to reports, this is a special evening. I'd like to take a moment to recognize Councilman Brock Siebert, whose term will conclude at the end of the year. Mr. Siebert and other council members, if you wish, could you join me up front?
If I may, we've had our differences, Brock, but you've been a good compliment. I want to congratulate you for the time you put in, and really, I appreciate it. I appreciate what you do, and lots of love. Thank you very much. We're very endeavors you made. Thank you very much. Very good. All right.
I already saw the picture.
There's the box.
We will move on to reports, and we'll start with Mr. Neff, Borough Engineer.
Thank you. I just wanted to congratulate Brock on his 4 years as well. It's been a great 4 years. You're always a pleasure to work with, so good luck in the future. I'm sure we'll see each other around.
Definitely.
I did want to announce that today starts the open public comment period for a proposed amendment to the Monmouth County Solid Waste Plan. This is related to the Mazza property. They have been working with the county on some modifications to their capacity limits. Currently, they are accepting 600 tons per day, and they're looking for an expansion to 1,200 tons per day, and it's also a limit of 1,800 tons per week. That would go to 3,600 tons per week. This is for Class A recycling material, which is basically your household recycling, cans, bottles, cardboard. So they're looking to essentially double it. There was an issue out at one of the other recycling facilities in another area of the state, had a bad fire that's been shut down. So Mazza has had these proposed limits approved under a temporary condition by the county since March. So they're really looking to just make these permanent, long-term. Like I said, they've been in place on an emergency basis since March. So if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, they can reach out directly to the county. You can go see any of the documents. They're at the County Reclamation Center, 6000 Asbury Ave. Comments are due January 20th, and there is a full notice on the borough's website right on the homepage. Under announcements, you can find the specific information there.
Are the documents also in Borough Hall? I thought they're,
No.
Not all, I think so the cover letter.
I thought they sent a copy.
I have the petition that was filed with us. Tom, I think I had sent that via email to you, but no, I don't have
The folder.
complete documents.
Okay, just for the public's awareness. So, and they have, the comment period is 30 days, is that
Yes,
correct?
so the comments are due January 20th.
Okay.
That's the end of the 30-day period.
Okay. And so for members of the public that want to comment, that information is directly on our website, and that those comments go directly to the county?
Correct, they'll go right to the county.
Okay.
And again, yes, there's a phone number and an email. The gentleman's name is Will Johnson from the county. He's the solid waste coordinator.
Great. All right. Thank
Mr.
you very
Knapp, I have
much.
a question for you, Councilman.
Yes, Mr. Siebert.
Was the borough notified of the emergency permit that was given to them?
I don't know off the top of my head.
You mean back in March?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they've been operating under that since March, and we were never notified?
I don't know if the borough was or not.
Thank you.
That's all I had.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Neff. Mr. Fallon, our CFO and acting BA.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. Good evening, everyone. And I'd also like to congratulate Brock. You know, it's been a pleasure working with you over the last 4 years. Always been very professional. I remember meeting with you many times, especially your first year or two and over the budget, and always very reasonable. So certainly, I wish you the best, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And that's pretty much all I have, except happy holidays to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fallon. Mayor Perrella, do you have a report this evening?
I have no report.
All right, thank you. Mr. Starkey, our Director of Law.
I have no report, but I do want to say to Councilman Siebert, it has been a pleasure working with you. I think especially on the firearms ordinance and the chicken ordinance. Both were very interesting. Things I'd never worked on before, and I appreciated your guidance and input on both them. And you've been a credit to Tinton Falls over these 4 years. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Starkey. Ms. Hess, our Borough Clerk.
I have no report, but I also wanted to congratulate Brock on his future endeavors, and it's been great working with you.
I'll miss all you guys.
Now we move on to council reports, and we'll start with Mrs. Clay.
Thank you, Council President. I would like to start by echoing everybody's sentiment here tonight and to thank Councilman Siebert for his service. I had actually had a brief exchange with Councilman Siebert and recognized that it was great having that opportunity to work together and to have him here on council. So thank you, Brock, and good luck in the future. Last night, there was a Tinton Falls Board of Education meeting. At the start of the meeting, Dr. Cole, who is the Assistant Superintendent of Instruction, did a presentation about the new testing results. This is probably more interesting to me than a lot of other people, so I won't give you a lot of detail, but it is important that the schools are measuring any deficits or gaps that are a result of time out of the classroom, and that they're working very hard to close those gaps for all kids. Also, I'd like to share that both Lisa Goldie and Elizabeth Cole completed their doctorates, and that's a great accomplishment and certainly very important in the education field. So congratulations to them. And also, I would just like to mention that there are 3 members of the Board of Education that are departing. Fred Lomangino, who was the council president, Ryan Hager, who was the Board of Education vice president, and Natalie Watson, who is a board member, have completed their service. And there were a lot said about them last night to thank them for everything they've done. So if you should see them, please also thank them as well. I would like to also recognize the Tinton Falls Police Department for the work that they did with Shop with a Cop. I think that we're very fortunate in that we have a department that is very community-minded and works very hard to help those in need. Also, along those lines, I'd like to thank our fire companies who brought a lot of joy to a lot of kids this past weekend on their Santa runs. And a lot of towns don't do that. It's something that our kids really look forward to, and it's great that our fire companies do that. And finally, I would just like to wish everybody a happy holiday and a healthy new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Clay. Mr. Nessie, you have a report this evening.
Thank you, Council President, and I'd like to continue the congratulations to Councilman Brock Siebert. I've known you for several years before you ran on council, and I think this is a good fit for you. You are an asset to our community, and I am certain that your involvement with the borough is not done in some way or another. I'm sure you'll be involved in other aspects. So thank you very much for the time you've been here on council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Next, last planning board meeting was last Wednesday. The board approved of a warehouse for the Mid-Monmouth Tech Center. That is on Pine Brook Road. The next planning board meeting will be the reorganization day meeting. I don't have the date in front of me, but I'm sure it'll be posted, and I'll post it as well online, and it'll be on the website. For that meeting, we'll also hear a application for a continuation of a Stavola property along Wayside. For recreation, basketball. We're all set and ready to go for our basketball program and filled to capacity with boys and girls in kindergarten through grade 8. We have limited space, and in order to accommodate all interested players, we have increased team players per team and purchased baskets that raise and lower to be placed at the MOESC school. Special thanks to all our volunteer coaching staff and school administrators. Wrestling this year for our first year program has received an overwhelming response. Another sold out program filled to capacity with 30 participants. Special thanks to our Monmouth Regional and coach Mike Mauricia. And a special thanks to all of our community residents who have supported the Recreation Department by participating in our events, programs, and activities. We look forward to your continued support by offering programs that encourage community involvement and enhance recreation opportunities. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Nessie. And finally, I congratulated you before, but I'd like to congratulate you, Brock, and thank you for your service. You've been very professional and great to work with on council for the past 4 years. And like Mike said, I'm sure we'll be seeing you in some way or another. Your involvement with the community will certainly not end here. So thank you. I'd also like to congratulate the fire department and thank him for the Santa runs that were all around town this past weekend. I know members of my community were very excited to see Santa and the fire trucks come around. There was also a Shop with the Cop on December 14th, which was extremely well attended. That's at the Jersey Shore Outlet Mall. People donate and they give gift cards and the kids go shopping at the various stores there. So that was also a fantastic event. I'd like to thank the police department for organizing that. Let's see, Tinton Falls Environmental Commission has one meeting, it was earlier in December. We had a presentation from Sustainable Jersey, had a lot of great community participation at that meeting. Also, with that being the last Environmental Commission meeting of the year, I'd like to thank, there were 2 members of the Environmental Commission who are ending their service at the end of this year, Ms. Teresa Maltz and Ms. Colleen Fay. And I'd like to recognize and thank them for their time on the Environmental Commission and for their service. And I believe, happy holidays for all. That concludes my report. And that concludes reports. So this evening, there are no ordinances for introduction or final consideration. So that brings us to our open public discussion.
Council President? I'm
Yes.
sorry, there was one more report.
Did I forget? I totally forgot Brock. I'm sorry. I went right after Mike. My apologies, Mr. Siebert.
So I wrote out all the things that we did over the last 4 years, but I don't think we have enough time to read them all. It's been a lot of fun. I've had a really great time working with this council, the previous council, years ago, and the mayor and Mayor Perillo. We've done a lot of things. We've made a lot of changes. We've kept the ship heading in the right direction. This town is a great town. You guys have done a wonderful job, and I'm sure you will continue to do a wonderful job. It's been the thing that makes it the best is though it's surrounded by such high-quality professionals that understand their jobs, understand this town, understand the direction things are heading, and how we get there. It's a true asset that we have here, and lean on them for all their information they have. Continue to, as you always have, and everything will be just fine here. Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to see we got selected for a library grant, and I look forward to seeing that move ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Siebert. Apologies again.
And thank you for the beautiful gift. I
Well
really
deserved. Hope you enjoy it.
appreciate that.
And now there are no ordinances or for introduction or final consideration this evening. So now we'll move on to the open public discussion. May I have a motion to open the public discussion?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This is the time the public may comment on any topic of their choice. Please state your name and address for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there any member of the public that would like to make a comment this evening? Yes, sir.
I hope everyone can hear me through this mask.
Yes.
I'm Jerry Smumberg. I live at 11 Alpine Trail. And I know a lot of you know about Soldiers On. I just wanted to bring you up to date that they've moved in 50 occupants into the development.
Mhm. Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks for that update.
Thanks.
Is there any other member of the public? Yes, Ms. Catalano.
Denise Catalano, 11 Alpine Trail. This is kind of a benefit for the newer people, but also for the older people. As many of you know, I've been very active in the community garden since its inception. I think it was 2009, 2010 that we started, so it's been around for a while. Other than I can count 1, 2, 3 occasions, 4 occasions, we are totally self-sufficient. And just want to give you a little part of the good news. One of the gardeners and myself, we used our personal plots that we've paid for to grow vegetables for donation to Fulfill and lunch break at Red Bank, which is part of the Fulfill distribution. And we donated 763 plus pounds of produce over the summer. So if you go know the people for Fulfill, if you know Jess, he says, boy, did you guys kick butt. So that's one of the things that comes out of our little community projects that are for the residents, but we pay it forward. So just wanted to kind of pass that information on and wish everybody a happy holiday season. Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
Anybody have any
Thank you.
questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Does any other member of the public have a comment? Yeah.
Good evening, Ellen Goldberg, 90 Glenwood Drive. Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Siebert for his 4 years of service for the council and for just his caring and heart for the community of Tinton Falls. I have seen multiple times over and over how you have put Tinton Falls in first, just in such a high esteem, and we really appreciate what you've done. I'd also like to put a little plug in. You could certainly become a board member of our library. We could use that, and
a lot of
with your
work going on over
background, we could seriously use that. I just want to remind everyone that our fashion show, our children's fashion show, is going to be on Saturday, April 2nd, and we'll start moving on that after the new year. Other than that, I just want to wish everyone a very happy, healthy, and safe holiday, and a very, very happy 2022. I did have one other thing I was curious about. With the increase in COVID cases and the Omicron variant and everything else, I remember earlier on we were having reports from the county, and I thought that perhaps that might be helpful. I'm not sure how that worked, but if that was something that we could do, because I know that there are a lot of people that are starting to become a lot more concerned, and I'm just wondering if that would be something that we could, again, include in our council reports.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I'm certainly open to it, yeah. And we're actually just kind of checking with different towns, monitoring that, so, yeah. We can either ask Dave Boning or Dave Henry to come and report, but our next meeting isn't until reorg January 4th, so. That said, you know, whatever the county reports or Monmouth County Regional Health Commission, I know that we will share as well, so. Let's see. At this time, I'd like to ask the clerk if there were any written comments submitted.
No, I did not receive any written comments.
All right, thank you. Last chance, is there anyone in the room that'd like to make a comment? Okay. Hearing no further comments, may I have a motion to close the public discussion?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Does any member of council have anything to add before resolutions? Okay. Before we move, hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Clay?
Yes.
Mr. Nessie?
Yes.
Mr. Siebert?
Yes.
Ms. Buckley?
Yes, with the exception of R21-243, the opioid lawsuit, which I recuse and abstain from. Otherwise, yes to the rest.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this concludes today's business. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. This meeting is now adjourned. Happy holidays, everybody.
So cool.
Yeah, I have to shut off the mic.